Welcome back to the 14th Amendment, where you're going to read, see, learn, and comprehend what the United States Constitution says about we American descendants of chattel slaves, i.e. black citizens, and the power, the authority that is granted to us whereby we may recover from 245 years of dehumanizing chattel slavery and 100 years of racist Jim Crow laws. There's a power that has been granted to us that we have never used as a people, dating back to 1868, when this law, the 14th Amendment, the Civil Rights Act of 1866, i.e. what Dr. Martin Luther King called in I Have a Dream, the Promissory Note. Now, what I need you to do, it's important here, I want you to go to the website where I teach you about this. Now, I want you to treat this website like a textbook, and don't just go through it one time. You go through it and read it. I had to go through it many times to get where I'm at, and the more you do it, the more you'll understand it. So I want you to go to the 14th.us. That's THE, digital number 1, digital number 4, th.us, the 14th.us. And on your device, you're going to see it in great big bold letters, and right under it's going to describe you as a descendant of the chattel slaves. Okay, now in other clips I think you saw where I explained to you the difference, but we'll go through that some more later. But in the meantime, I want you to go here, and while you're at lunch or on the beach or sitting waiting on the bus or riding on the bus or being a passenger in the car, that's me. In case you don't know what I look like, when you see that, that's kind of a little bit my younger days maybe, but that's me. And I guess you wonder why I got that red, white, and blue thing wrapped around my neck. I bet y'all think of the news, don't you? America. No, I'm messing with you. I'm just messing with you, okay? But look, right. I'll explain that another time, though, all right? I promise you. Down here, next you'll see the 14th Amendment. You can go on Google and you can see this. It's standard 14th Amendment. So somebody knows something out there. And then let's go up here, and this is my dear friend. You'll meet her. This is Robin, oh my gosh, Robin, okay? Anyway, you'll know her. Robin's a great sister over in Phoenix, Arizona. We've been working on the Promissory Note, a website that we're going to have up real soon, where there's a petition where y'all going to be able to go to and actually participate in this. Oh, Robin O'Bannon, Irish name. Robin O'Bannon, okay? Now, underneath of that, you're going to see the Promissory Note Education Campaign. What we're getting ready to do, we're going to launch a campaign nationwide to everybody who considers themselves descendants of chattel slaves, i.e. black U.S. citizens. We want you, whether you in prison or on the homeless or live in Beverly Hills or preaching a pulpit, whoever you are, no matter what your skin tone is, your politics, Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal, atheist, Muslim, Jew, Christian, whatever, it doesn't matter. If you are a chattel slave descendant, this is for you, and we want you to be aware of what is said about you. Now, you don't have to accept this, okay? It's up to you. Our job is simply to put the information in front of you, then you decide what you want to do with it. So and if you scroll down, if I can see clear here, you're going to see the 14th Amendment, I think that is 14th Amendment Promissory Note Education Campaign. Just spoke with you about that. And there'll be the Promissory Note objective, what this thing is supposed to do for us and through us as a people. We have the Promissory Note platform, petition, I told you about that. And let's see, we're going to have here MLK. We talk about how Dr. Martin Luther King, y'all, but most of y'all was even born. Some of you OGs like me, you'll remember, I was just a little kid. I think I was like 11, 12 years old when Dr. Martin Luther King gave his I Have a Dream speech at the Civil Rights March in 1963, the biggest march at that time in the history of the United States. In that speech, in the very beginning, now y'all go Google this up, but you can also get it here. I Have a Dream. In the very beginning of the speech, he talks about the promissory note that we, American black citizens, must cash at the Bank of Justice. Interesting conversation here. You're going to learn about that and the power that is granted to us. Let's see. And then you're going to go on down here, and let's go down to, there'll be special posts and more discussions, but I want to take you all the way down to the Civil Rights Act of 1866, edited, right there. Civil Rights Act of 1866, edited. Did it go? I don't know. It didn't go, did it? Civil Rights Act of 1866. Hold on, y'all. There it is. Huh. There it is. My bad. There it is. There it is. There it is. Okay, y'all. Look, I'm an OG. I'm still back in 1969, so I'm still learning stuff, right? So please bear with me. So here we go. It introduces itself as to what it is. Then it goes down and has 10 sections. 10 sections in the act, and each section gives a description of what I call the subject beneficiaries of the act. Now, the first act, section 1, identifies who we are. It tells us the power and the rights that we have, basically the same rights that are discussed in the Declaration of Independence. The difference is, when the Declaration of Independence was written by the Founding Fathers, we was not included. We was chattel property. You know that statement where they talk about life, liberty, and the pursuit of, and the pursuit of happiness? Well, the original version was the pursuit of property. Property. Now, what was the biggest asset property of the American people at that time? The biggest? Chattel slaves, the living human property. And some of the Founding Fathers argued, saying, wait a minute, we can't talk about liberty and freedom and accuse the monarchs of putting us in slavery when we got our boot heel on the back of our fellow human beings here. This is wrong. We must include them in the Declaration. Well, 47 of the signers of the Declaration of Independence were chattel slave owners. And a few of the guys that were not chattel slave owners, they got overridden by the guys who owned slaves, and they compromised and they kept us out, saving it for a later date. Well, that date came after the Civil War in 1865 when we set free, and then 1868 they passed this law for us. Now that's section 1. Now here's something that's really key. People say the Constitution is colorblind. That's not true. The Constitution does identify the color of the people to whom it is discussing, the subject beneficiaries. At the end of section 1, it says that we are to enjoy a citizenship, here it goes, quote unquote, as is enjoyed by white citizens. I didn't say that. The Constitution said that. White people who wrote this law said that, as is enjoyed by white citizens. Now, a talented tenth of us have always experienced that down through the decades. There's always the talented tenth in anything. But the majority of us as a collective body politic, as a people, we never enjoyed the citizenship as is enjoyed by our white citizens. So that's where we got to get to. Now, section 2. Here's the power. Section 2 says this: any government official, and that includes the President of the United States, to the Supreme Court Justice, to anyone in Congress, to anyone sworn to a government position, whether elected or appointed, it says, if anyone under the color of any law, statute, ordinance, or custom that violates Section 1, which is our citizenship and our birthright, they are to be immediately arrested, prosecuted, if found guilty, punished. Do you hear me? No one in the United States federal government, with all due respect, not even the President of the United States, is exempted from this duty and responsibility to the chattel slave. You say, man, brother, that's kind of some heavy stuff you laying down there, man. I don't know, what are you messing with? I'm messing with the truth. I'm messing with the truth. That the people who put this law together understood the severity of our existence in this country, and how what happened to us as a people must be rectified, so much so that the President of the United States cannot get away with not fulfilling his mission. Now we go down to section 3. Section 3 that deals with the district courts and the circuit courts, whereby if you can't get local justice, we have the authority, the right to go to the feds, okay? Section 4. Section 4 is very interesting. Section 4 talks about the attorney generals and prosecutors and marshals and deputy marshals who are supposed to enforce the law. But here, though, it says the President of the United States can actually commission you, me, anyone to be a special envoy, let's say in the city of LA. You could be commissioned in the city of LA or in the city that you're from, and if you find that the mayor is violating your 14th Amendment Section 1 civil right as a chattel slave descendant, you can actually have that politician, government official arrested based on Section 2, been given the power by the President of the United States. Did you know that the President of the United States could put one of us in every single state in this country? And anyone who violates our rights, that person is like a marshal and could call the federal military on them. Oops, what did I say? Yes, I did, because the next chapter, Section 5, says that we can call upon the United States military, if necessary, to defend Section 1 of the Act, okay? Then it goes into Section 6 and Section 7. Now, I grant it to you, that's kind of basically, it doesn't deal so much with us directly, it deals with marshals, appointed officials who refuse to enforce the law. And if they are arrested, it gives financial remuneration to the person that makes the arrest. You got to read it. It's kind of boring, but it's there. Then it gets exciting again, y'all. Now this one is really cool. Section 8. Section 8 says this: whenever the president has reason to believe that Section 1 of the Act has been, is being, or about to be violated, it shall be lawful for him basically to do anything necessary to rectify the situation. Section 9 gets even hotter, okay? Section 9 says that it shall also be lawful for the President of the United States, if necessary, to call out the armed forces to protect us. You know the first president to do that since Abraham Lincoln and Grant? You know the first president to do that? Dwight David Eisenhower. You don't believe me? You go look up Brown versus the Board of Education, where all public schools were forced to integrate and let black children get an education the same as white children get. And then in 1957, when black children tried to go to Little Rock High School, go to Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas, and the governor, everybody said, them little Negroes can't come in here. And Dwight David Eisenhower got on the phone and said, you better let them in there because that is the law, it's the 14th Amendment. And they said no. So Dwight David Eisenhower used Section 4, Section 8, because he believed that we, our students, our children, were being denied our rights. He believed that, and then he executed the law and the U.S. military down to Little Rock, Arkansas. And every day, y'all, soldiers, white boys, with rifles loaded in their hands, walking side by side as bodyguards to little black kids, threatening white folks, you mess with them, we're going to shoot you. That's what happened. See, a lot of folks don't know that. And the same thing happened with John F. Kennedy with the University of Alabama when George Wallace, who stood in the way, said, I ain't going to let them Negroes come in my school. And John F. Kennedy said, if you don't get out the way, he sent the military down there. Why, folks? Because it's that our existence in America is that important. You talk about Black Lives Matter? Absolutely. More than what most of y'all even realize till you understand this. Now here it gets really even more exciting. Section 10. Section 10. Section 10 says, if all else fails, we can go to the United States Supreme Court. And it's not a matter of whether the Supreme Court says, well, let's hear the arguments pro and con and we're going to make a decision. The Supreme Court says, according to this law, you will abide by this, or you go to jail according to Section 2. And if we don't take this law, then these people can have me, the Supreme Court Justice, thrown in jail as well. That's the power y'all got. Why do you think so many people been running around hollering at you, man, that Constitution written for white folks, that ain't written for black folks? That's not true. In the beginning, yeah, but that's what the amendments are about. That's the way the Constitution is written of this country. When something's wrong, we the people have the authority and the duty to make that change. And that's what happened to the 14th Amendment. Y'all need to go check out the Dred Scott ruling. Go check out Dred Scott ruling, because they tried to say in the Dred Scott ruling that we, chattel slave descendants, though we are free from chattel slavery, we can never be U.S. citizens. Well, the 14th Amendment, Civil Rights Act of 1866, did away with all that. So when people tell you don't read something, don't study something, you better take a look at it. Let me leave you with one final thought for today. This came out of the mind of that white dude, Abraham Lincoln, pretty much, and what we call the radical Republicans, and Frederick Douglass and some of the other brothers and sisters, Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman, different ones, was kind of the Delaney, counseling him and pushing him forward with the other abolitionists. When Lincoln was assassinated, he was assassinated because he didn't free us, not because he freed us or gave us citizenship, but because he wanted to give us the right to vote, the power to rule. Well, when he was assassinated, the vice president was a Democrat, Johnson, took over. And so when the Republicans wanted to rectify 245 years of chattel slavery, by the way, we're going to talk about this, there's your promissory note, or rather your reparations. When they wanted to rectify this, and they wrote the law, the Civil Rights Act of 1866 and the 14th Amendment, Johnson vetoed it. Now go look this up. And the reason that Johnson vetoed this law, this bill, is his words. He said because it gave too much power to the chattel slaves, to the freed slaves. It gave too much power to the freed slaves over white people. He said it gave too much power to black people over white people. He didn't say he gave him power. He don't mind power. But what he mind was too much power. And that's why the KKK was born. And that's why the Jim Crow laws were born, to make sure that the heart and soul, what I call the national black treasure, that's us, the heart and soul of this nation does not wake up to who we are. Because they know when we wake up to who we are, the gig is up. So we'll talk about that. We got a lot to talk about. So y'all tune in, tell all your friends, and go to Patreon. Go to Patreon, visit my Patreon, and visit the website, the14thAmendment.us, and tell all your folks, man, come hear what OG got to say. Okay, see y'all later.